On behalf of the University of the Philippines Press, I would like to extend our warmest congratulations to Jhoanna Lynn Cruz for the digital launch of her riveting and altogether memorable book of autobiographical narratives, her memoir, Abi Nako, or So I Thought. It is a particular personal pleasure and honor for me to be at the helm of the official publishing house of our country's one and only national university, just when brave and inspiring books such as Cruz's should see the light of print. Since the beginning of my term as UP Press Director, the press has been proudly publishing outstanding queer titles across the various genres. Although, if I'm not mistaken, Cruz's would be our first book of lesbian creative nonfiction. This title distinguishes itself in many formal ways, but also because its truth-telling imperative seeks to probe into the nooks and crannies of personal and familial life which do not get covered or even remotely acknowledged by even the most intrepid of our Anglophone writers. Such a probing is of course necessary, for, as with the best kinds of literary writing, the emotional arc of Cruz's memoir tracks the illuminative journey from the real to the true, from what can be experienced and remembered to what can be envisioned and imagined. As a trope for this movement, in the book's opening essay, Cruz invokes the idea of the talisman, the prized and numinous object that embodies a powerful communal fiction, which we may also call a myth. Reading the book, we realize that there have indeed been many such cherished objects, many such myths across her storied and compelling life, whose trajectory, thus far, may be characterized precisely by the metronomic oscillation between the blind adherence to and the painful and embittered letting go of these charms. We may think of them as a thematic signpost or a leitmotif, hence, woven into the weft and woof of this collection. These talismanic things are invariably representations of belief systems and faiths, typically couched in the language of axiom, proverb, expectation, or even internalized ideals, received either by accident or choice, to which the author initially fervently subscribed but has needed to abandon soon enough, but not without suffering or sorrow, if only to survive, if only to grow. In the course of disabusing herself of unworkable and sometimes downright toxic assumptions and illusions, she has needed to jettison even the burden of her earlier nickname, which she must have realized tended to preempt or even foist a happiness that she is still in the process of imagining and of enabling for both herself and her loved ones. The most important of them are, of course, her children, who recur in these intimate narratives and who undoubtedly form the affectional core, in many ways, the heart and soul of this book. On the other hand, heteronormative love would seem to be another one of those trinkets that the author, through this work, comes to see for the difficult improbability that it is, no thanks to the trauma of being with the wrong kinds of people, and partially because of the alternative and more equable sorcery that is lesbian solidarity and love, with which she comes to gratefully reconcile herself. At least until the time of this book's writing, the lesbian subject position would seem to be her own chosen erotic and amicable personal haven or home. Finally, it is my own reading that what the author is offering us in and through her creative nonfiction is the craft and the vocation of lesbian writing itself, her own brand of queer creativity, as a kind of robust enchantment, a potent and hard-won myth-making practice through which one may live in full human dignity, finally without regret or shame, without rancor or fear. I applaud Jhoanna for the personal achievement that is her art, whose incontrovertible charm is that it is now and again able, given the luminous evidence of her book, to coincide beautifully with her painstakingly remembered and deeply examined life. Once again, congratulations, Jhoanna. Padayon.